what's the word we were told? Get a 3-minute elevator pitch.
Yes.
So the first, I'm a young 17-year-old back here, and they had this nasty thing called the draft.
Wow.
And my dad says, "What are you doing after high school, boy?" "Sir, I was thinking about college." "Fine, how are you paying for it? Isn't it free?"
Ah.
So I joined the Navy. I was 17 years old. And the first 15 years of my career, I was a ship guy on destroyers.
Yes.
Did I go to combat? Yeah, I was in the Gulf of Tonkin, a mission called Naval Gunfire Support. We'd shoot bullets. We were about a mile offshore. Bullets, 15,000-pound projectiles in there. And then, son of a gun, those guys would shoot back at you. They'd get pissed.
Oh, goodness.
So a ship would get hit near us, and you're busy, and somebody said, "What's the worst thing you ever thought about?" I said, "Well, combat was not one of my favorite things to do." And as the joke goes, no atheists in combat. Oh, God, get me through this.
Yes.
So, anyways, that leads me down to favorite memories, the camaraderie, because I swear, I'll probably tear up here. Anyways, least favorite, lost his shipmates, some take it too soon.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, you could look at me, I was going to describe myself. Somebody said, "What do you most like? What movie actor?" I said, "Well, probably Forrest Gump." And I had a Bubba friend. Anyways, let's move on here. Okay, so after all those times on a ship, I got bored and I transferred. They were looking for flight school. U.S. Navy wants you to go be a pilot. I thought, well, that's cool. I didn't realize this because we had 1,000 POWs in Vietnam at the time. So there were openings. So I went to flight school, became a pilot, flew cargo planes and helos. And I think one of the more amazing things, if you were to talk about, nobody ever looks at the military much these days because the draft isn't around, but Navy, Army, Marines, Coast Guard, Air Force, the average Navy end strength right now is about 300,000 people. Now, think about Detroit or Chrysler or 3M or some of these big companies. The average age in the military is
19 years, 2 months.
That's for you.
Well, I'll tell you what. I see this, Chris, but tell here in this video when you served.
Well, from 68 to 92.
Okay.
And being a Navy guy, I was doing ships.
Wow.
The Navy is at sea. Army guys are tanks and Amtrak and stuff. And so our job was go overseas and stop bullies. Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, all those things.
Wow.
So we had fighters to protect the bombers, and the bombers would go in. And that was our business end. We'd bomb stuff and blow things up.
Well, let's see this. Wow.
Okay.
Love this. Love this.
And one of the strengths of the military is we're training 18-year-olds to do stuff you'd never think of. But there you are in high school taking wood shop, and now you're out there doing stuff. The weakness of having an 18-year-old workforce is you make mistakes. This guy forgot to put the gas cap on the gas tank.
Oh my.
And he blew up an airplane.
Oh my.
Caught on fire.
Caught on fire.
Yeah. So when I went to sea, I was on destroyers, and you'd get 8 to 10 destroyers go to sea around a carrier, and that was a battle group. When I transferred to aviation, I flew these helos off of the destroyers because we were looking for submarines in those days. One of the things I remember is, here you are relying on these 17-year-olds to give you gas. Your job was to go drop a torpedo on a submarine and send it to the bottom of the ocean. Sometimes they'd shoot back at you, so you'd shoot flares at them. One of the least favorite memories is trying to come aboard a ship at night in high sea states, and you're counting on your guys. This has a new helicopter that had a wire that would help it when we'd haul down. So, the guys would clear the deck, and you'd say, okay. You'd wait for the ship to get at the top of the roll. It was doing this kind of stuff, and it's like, whoa. Anyways, back to the people. That's probably my favorite part is there I am, 25. I'm talking to an 18-year-old and a 29-year-old, and here we had a bunch of tech reps on our, but so there's some sailors in there somewhere. And what's the one thing you do between missions? Oh, you hang around and wait.
Yeah.
So everybody knows the PR branch of the U.S. Navy. That's the Blue Angels.
Blue Angels.
So, and then this was a console that one of our 18-year-olds would have to learn. So imagine going to a 6-month school and learning what each one of those knobs was and have to do a blindfold check and that kind of stuff. So anyways, that's my little 5-minute pitch.
Oh my goodness.
So
I've been talking to Chris Haizlip. We're talking, why are we talking? We're talking because Veterans Day is coming up. And what do? We're commemorating and we're celebrating the sacrifices and the service that these men and women have made in their service to our country.
And why'd you stay in for 25 years?
Yes.
Well, you know, there were times when I thought about getting out, and then I'd get married, have kids, have a mortgage payment, or live in base housing or something like that, and the economy was bad, so you stay in, and before you know it, if you can get to a 20-year point, you get vested in their retirement program. But the sad thing is, there's only about 30% of people that come in ever get to that point. Got this thing, what's the nice word the VA uses these days? Environmental hazards. So evidently, when I was in Vietnam, I was exposed to this Agent Orange thing, which now they're tracking me. I feel special. No benefits, but they want to know when I die, so I can be part of that bell curve. Jeez, this guy was supposed to last to 75, but he only made it to 69. So I'm going to be a database. So gallows humor, that's another fun thing. You know, joking about one day you're here and the guy next to you is gone the next day. In aviation, a lot of crashes. You know, we'd lose 2 to 3 airplanes out of 10 every 6-month cruise. That was the other thing. You know, when you sign up, they didn't really tell you, but you were going out to sea for 6 to 8 months. You were on patrol overseas, but that's where you got the camaraderie thing going. So, anyways, that's all. That's my 3-minute pitch.
Oh, wow. I appreciate it.
So, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Now,
Wonderful.
back to you.
Yes.
I had a handout for you.
Well, I got it.
Well, that was one.
Okay.
There's handout number 2. Oh,
Okay.
there it is. Madam President,
Yes.
you're going to Calgary.
I am.
Oh, God. And out there in Calgary, about an hour west of town, is this really gorgeous national park called Jasper.
Okay.
Oh, got to go see that.
Okay.
The ice fields. And there is a lake out there. I think it's Lake Louise. It's further up as Banff. And in Lake Louise, it's got, what do you call it? They don't have icebergs, glaciers. And the glaciers melt, and there is a color blue there that you've never seen anywhere else in the world. So, I'm your tour guide.
Thank you so much.
Get out
for being
there
my
and
tour
look at
guide.
the ice fields. That color. Anyway, so thank you very much for taking the time to
Thank you.
hear this old goat talk.
No, thank
And,
you. I appreciate you.
so-
Appreciate your service. I appreciate all you've done.
I know, and that veterans table over there.
That's
a
the
fun
veterans
bunch.
table.
Now, he's an Army guy. Ooh.
Yes.
So, actually, one of my favorite things is when I joined the Navy, I got shipped off to this federal penitentiary. It was referred to as a service academy, a naval academy. And the mascot of the Navy is a goat.
A goat.
And you wonder why? Because in the old days of wooden sailing ships, they wanted milk at sea. You couldn't take a cow because they'd tip over. So what would you take? A goat. So the Navy base where I was at in Annapolis, Maryland, had its name back in the 1800s. Ships would stop in there, get rid of their old goats, and bring in new goats. So you ever seen an old goat after a 6-month cruise? Oh, jeez. Anyways.
Well, let me just say this about you. When you talk about goats,
Oh.
greatest of all time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
you.
All right. Well, thank you. Sorry, I get a little emotional.
I know it's okay.
So thank
It's
you, Tina.
okay. Thank
I'll leave you, and you got stuff to do.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the time.